Hello everyone, today we are going to learn a subject called as, you're very much familiar with this, zoology, okay? So I'm gonna follow the textbook, very famous one, and very quick to refer it. I advise to all the NEET aspirants who are preparing for NEET preparation should follow NCERT textbooks, okay? So the very first chapter, diversity of living world, and the first topic what we are gonna learn is what is life. Okay, life is an exclusive property of the various types of living organisms in the world. Okay, so there are about on the earth there are about 3.5 billion years ago the history of life ago. So there are 8.5 million organisms, living species in the world. So, okay, biology. Okay, what is meant by biology? What is the meaning of it? What is the definition? Okay, you may say that bio means life and logy means as usual study. So, study of life is called as biology. But do you have a well-defined definition to explain what is meant by biology? Yeah, it is there. Biology is the science dealing with the study of living organisms, which are broadly classified into microorganisms, plants, and animals. Okay? So, living organisms show some special characters. I'm gonna refer it now. Okay. First one, cellular organization and highly ordered structure. Okay, an organism's body is made up of one to many cells, okay, which are called as structural and functional units of the body. This is the famous and one and my favorite. Okay, each cell is isolated from the cells surrounding it by a limiting membrane, the plasma membrane. This membrane controls the exchange of various substances across it. Two major kinds of cells occur in this living world. Okay? There are two types of cells which occur in this whole living world. They are prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. Now you might be thinking that what is meant by prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Okay, so as usual you have learned in the 10th standard, prokaryotic cells means without distinct nuclei, and eukaryotic cells means with distinct nuclei. Now we are gonna learn second one, that is second one, complexity of organization. A fundamental feature of life is the presence of a high degree of order. Okay, life organisms show hierarchical organization such as cellular level, tissue level, organ level, and organ system level. Okay, there are several organ systems make up an organism. Okay, you might be learning this one later with the what is famously called as hierarchical classification. Okay, it will be coming further in videos. Okay, so now let's come on to the topic. This type of is called as ordered complexity, and it is not seen in non-living things. Okay, make this point. This hierarchy of life and can be represented as follows, starting from the inorganic elements that go into the constitution of protoplasm. Okay, like first atoms, then molecules, then cell, tissue, organ system, then organ system makes an organism, then organism makes population, population makes community, then community makes ecosystem, and then finally it represents a biosphere. Now this representation includes both inorganic and organic components, as living substance is made up of several inorganic constituents, and life process involve continuous exchange and recycling of inorganic elements. The third one is response to environment. Okay, so now this It is the property of showing response to external or internal stimuli received through various kinds of sense organs. Okay? So now, living organisms show response to environmental stimuli which could be physical, chemical, or biological. Plants show sensitivity to environmental factors such as light, temperature, water, etc. Now this ability to show response to environmental stimuli, it may be physical, it may be chemical, or it may be biological. Then it is called as irritability. I repeat it. Ability to show response is called as irritability. Now we're gonna move to fourth one, growth. That is growth. Growth is one of the fundamental characters of living beings, including, you might guess, including unicellular organisms. Now, increase in mass and increase in number are twin characters of growth. Some living and non-living. Non-living things also may show tendency of growth, but growth in living beings is growth from inside. Okay, whereas growth in non-living things is by accumulation of material on the surface. Okay, but just in living organisms they may show every special characteristics and unique character, but non-living things show only growth by accumulation of material on the surface. Okay, make this point. Higher plants show growth all their life producing new branches, leaves, etc., whereas it is limited up to only a certain age only. In animals, growth cannot be taken as a defining property of living organisms, as non-living structures also show growth in some respects. Now, that is fifth one, energy processing or energy utilization, or the very famous one, you and me are very much familiar with that, metabolism. The sum of total of all the chemical reactions occurring in the body of an organism constitute as metabolism, and this is a defining feature of all organisms without exception. Life activities require energy in different forms, but the chief source of energy for all the living organisms is the sunlight. Energy is transferred from one tropic level to another. The life process which could build up or store, conserve energy are called as anabolic process, and the process involving expenditure of life of energy are called as catabolic processes. Together they constitute, together they form, together they combine to form as metabolism. I will repeat the definition of anabolic and catabolic process again. Okay, listen carefully. The life process which build up or store, conserve energy are called as anabolic process, and the process involving expenditure of energy are called catabolic process. Together they constitute to form metabolism. Now the sixth one, which is reproduction. Okay, sorry, reproduction. Okay, living organisms produce young ones of their kind using molecules of heredity, the DNA molecules, which are genes, which are passed on the offsprings. It is important to note that lives come from only life. It means biogenes, and not from the living substances, non-living substances. Reproduction characteristics of all living organisms occur by vegetative, asexual, and sexual method. Sexual method involves fusion of gametes forming a zygote which through various stages of development becomes a young organism. But however, some organisms do not reproduce, like mules, sterile, working honeybee, infertile, human couples, etc. They do not produce. Proto- Protozoans reproduce by asexual methods such as binary fission. You know what is binary fission? Two equal daughter cells. Bi means two, fission means breaking, okay, and fusion means combining. Sponges, hydra, etc. reproduce by budding. In planarians, fragmented by body by fissions regenerates the lost parts of the body and becomes a new organism. Okay, so next move on to the seventh topic, which is homeostasis. Now, what is meant by homeostasis? Maintenance of relatively constant internal conditions, steady state different from the surrounding environment is called as homeostasis. In simple words, it means that a balance. Homeostasis means balance. It is the dynamic constancy of the internal environment of an organism within a range that the cells can tolerate. Living organisms maintain constant internal environment by various physiology adaptations. Okay, now let's move on to the eighth, which is evolution. Life is not static, it constantly changes from simple to more complex forms. Variations in organisms arise through mutations or generations, combinations. Now, you and me are very much familiar with the scientist, the famous one, Charles Darwin. The natural selection theory starts the beings accumulate their beneficial variations over a period of time, tend to evolve gradually into new types of organisms after surviving the struggle for existence. Now, next move on to ninth, that is mortality. Living beings are born, grow into mature forms, undergo aging process, and finally die. This is the life process. Okay, the life process of aging is called as census. Okay, it leads to death or mortality. Living beings are thus mortal. Now let's move on to the topic, which is next video. In the next video, we are gonna learn nature, scope, and the meaning of zoology and branches of zoology. Okay, up till then, bye bye.